Hello and welcome to another digital marketing show. My guest this time is a marketer through and through, a marketer with 25 years experience. Matt Siddons combines data and marketing technology with breakthrough creative and brand strategy. SiddonsInside is Matt's consulting business. That's SiddonsInside.co. Matt's very competitive, so much so that he remembers as a 9-year-old child, he doesn't know I'm going to say this, crying when he lost a game of Monopoly. G'day, Matt. How you doing?
Yeah, hi, Kevin. That's disarmed me, that introduction.
Well, I didn't mean to do that, but I just think it's such a classic story. I read it in your bio, and I just couldn't help but mention it. So, what did losing that game teach you?
Oh, look, I'm a terrible sport from way back. I mean, just ask my mum. Yeah, look, I can't help myself. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a game of tiddlywinks. I'm competitive, and certainly when it comes to my professional life, I get very, very competitive, borderline aggressive when it comes to trying to win in the market that I'm operating.
Well, the purpose behind that, Matt, was to try and disarm you a bit, because I do know how competitive you are. I do know how challenging you can be, having worked with you many years ago on a video series. So I know a fair bit about Matt Siddons. So anyway, Matt, it's a delight to have you in the show. Thank you very much. And of course, that website that I mentioned earlier, SiddonsInside.co, is a great website to go to. Mate, can we talk about marketing? Can I firstly ask you, how is marketing changing?
Well, digital marketing's changed marketing. Digital marketing is marketing these days. Any distinction between offline, online, traditional, digital is really a bit academic. And the various digital marketing channels, be it Facebook, Google, the review platforms, online video, email, chatbots, the list goes on, and it's always changing. It brings really exciting opportunities to build brands and generate leads for businesses, but it also brings significant challenges in terms of getting all of that right. I see it all the time with my clients. They're grappling with the mix of technology and talent, and by talent I mean people. That mix of getting the right people around the right tech to deliver the outcomes you need. That is challenging. There's no doubt about it, and that's where I'm helping clients and where I'm focusing my attention.
So, Matt, what are your observations on the current state of the real estate marketing?
Yeah, look, I think marketing within the real estate category is low profile. My hypothesis is that it has low perceived importance within the industry, which is, frankly, disappointing. You look around in terms of the industry debates and the thought leadership, with the exception of shows like yours, there's little quality debate going on there about the power of marketing when it comes to real estate. I think there's an opportunity to better educate, the C-suite within agency networks about the power of marketing, and certainly the opportunities presented by getting your digital marketing execution right. But I also think it's incumbent upon the marketers within the category to demonstrate better return on investment, to really build a case and make sure that they're being heard at the board table, and that they're securing the investment that they need to build the marketing capability they need to realize all of these opportunities. So I think shows like yours are really important, because in the absence of quality discussion around this, I'm observing the trainers taking ownership of marketing. These guys are fantastic, but by their nature they are generalists. They dabble in marketing, and they dabble around some basic principles of lead generation using platforms like Facebook. But the marketing opportunity is so much bigger than that. And I think you really need your marketing experts to really kind of step up and drive the agenda.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, and you make a very good point there, I've seen a number of people who have probably come out of other areas, not even training, and all of a sudden they're self-professed social media gurus and understanding more about marketing. So I'm just, in a practical sense though, what should agencies be doing to build their digital marketing capability, Matt?
Look, it starts with a marketing strategy. I mean, it's kind of an obvious statement, but you need a strategy that identifies what it is you're trying to achieve. What do you need from marketing to deliver on your broader business plan? And then that will determine some decisions around priorities. How quickly do you want to move? How aggressively do you want to invest in building out that marketing capability? So let's get a plan. Let's agree as a leadership group what we're trying to achieve and the time frame in which we're trying to do it, and then start making some investments. And broadly speaking, a modern marketing team combines technology with the right people and data, I guess, closely linked to technology. So look, if you start with the technology piece, you hear marketers talking about the tech stack, the marketing technology stack. I followed Chief Martech.com. Scott Brinker is the guru when it comes to marketing technology, and he publishes a visual chart of the players within marketing technology every year. Well, on that chart in 2019, there was more than 7,000 marketing tech applications. And Scott, by his own admission, said the reality is there's more like 40,000 plus when you look at the long tail of the marketing widgets and the platforms. So there's a dizzying array of options out there, Kevin, and it's hugely complex. Even for someone like myself that's been in marketing his whole career, never mind an agency network that might not necessarily have those deep skills in digital and technical marketing. Trying to make sense of all of that is very challenging.
Yeah, very challenging indeed. Well, just on that point, you talk about the tech stack. What are the elements that make up a real estate marketing tech stack?
Well, if you think about the jobs that you want your marketing team to do within an agency network, you want them to do your advertising, and there's all forms of different advertising across different channels. But take Facebook and Google as an obvious place to start. Well, there's a technology solution to help you with that. If you're thinking about, you want your marketing team to be responsible for the content that your network is generating. Well, I promise you, there's a number of technology solutions that are going to help you produce that content more effectively, distribute it with more impact. Video is becoming ever more important in terms of, performance and far outperforming other types of advertising and messaging. I can keep going. Email, CRM, managing the review platforms. Regardless of what job you're talking about that you need your marketing team to do, there's a technology solution to help them do it better.
Well, you've recently conducted a review of real estate ad tech platforms. What did you discover from doing that?
Well, it was a dose of my own medicine. So we looked at, ad tech, and specifically the technology that's available to real estate agencies in Australia to help them do better on Facebook and Google. Sounds like a pretty straightforward task. It's just one, slither of a tech stack. And that was in partnership with my project partner, in this case, Melanie Hull. So you've got Mel and I, we're career marketers. Mel's got all the technical expertise you could wish for, and we did a deep dive into that advertising technology. Well, there's 10 platforms, believe it or not, that do something that's quite niche, in a relatively small market. We went into some detail, but we quickly discovered that they're very different in terms of their approach. Some is a true platform and a kind of one-size-fits-all philosophy. Others are much more about delivering customized solutions, subject to your particular requirements. They all price themselves in different ways. There's wild disparity in terms of claims around performance. And we quickly realized that this is really complex, and we're finding it complex. So good luck to someone that doesn't necessarily have our skills and experience, and that's trying to not just look at the ad tech layer, but trying to think about, well, what does my tech stack look like overall to do all the other things that I need my marketing team to do.
Pretty mind-boggling, actually, when you look at it that way. So what are the solutions? What does a modern marketer look like?
Well, they're a very different beast these days. Marketing is a mix of art and science, and a modern marketer is much more a scientist than an artist.
Oh, really? I was going to ask you, which is the balance, like more artistic or more scientific?
Well, I think increasingly the balance has tipped towards scientific. When I started off my career many decades ago.
Oh, it wasn't that long ago, Matt. Come on, you're not that old.
That's very kind of you, Kevin. Thank you. I've got the soft focus filter on this Skype call. Back in the day, it was all about the art, the craft of, think Mad Men, to use that kind of extreme, cliche. It was all about understanding your audience and looking to find an insight that you could hang your creative, your advertising on, and really engage with them and cut through with them in that way. Yeah. And that's absolutely remains critical today. There's no point having a best-in-class marketing technology stack firing out messages that are bland, that are inconsistent, that aren't cutting through. But let's assume that you've got some compelling messages and you've got a compelling brand strategy. Well, if you're going to seize the opportunity of all of these digital marketing channels, you need your technology to be working for you, and you need people that have those technical skills. Yep. And that are comfortable and enjoy having their hands on the technology all day, are very inquisitive around testing and hypothesis and measuring and optimizing, and all of that good stuff. And there's a lot of marketers from my generation where that's just not what they signed up for, and haven't necessarily made the transition into digital marketing with those very much more kind of scientific kind of approach.
Yeah, well, obviously with that, the look that you've undertaken, what would you say a marketing team, or how should it be organised, and how should it behave? This might give us a bit of an insight into actually building that team or identifying a good one.
Yeah. Well, you're absolutely going to need a very technical digital, or what I'd call a performance marketer within the team. Someone that understands Facebook and Google advertising platforms inside and out. Growth hacking I'm not a big fan of that term, but that's sometimes how these kind of performance digital guys are described. Social, and Facebook in particular, is a key channel. So you're going to want a social marketing expert within the team, managing both your national account if you're a national agency network, and equally important to be working with your local agency offices and empowering them to be effective with the time they spent within their social channels. Content is critical, and you're going to want an in-house studio. I would suggest a design studio with skills across print, digital, and get yourself a videographer if you can afford one, because my experience is that video is king when it comes to engagement and return on investment. So there's some key roles there, Kevin, that you would need within a modern marketing team. But I think the principles by which you lead that team are just as important as the organizational structure. And my approach has been there's probably 4 or 5. Insist that everything is data driven. So understand your audience, know what's working, understand how it's rolling up to the commercial KPIs within the business plan. And optimize your investments accordingly. Number 2 would be cut through. Really deliver with impact. Take a few gambles. I'm not going to beat up anybody if they make a mistake. But there's far too much marketing wallpaper in market that you deliver a few ads on Facebook, you've ticked a few boxes, but is it actually working? Is there a really insight behind the communication? So deliver with impact, move with velocity, and act like an entrepreneur is another one of my catch cries. So
I like that one.
what's that? Sorry?
I like that one.
Yeah, look, I think the marketing teams that I've inherited could all use a bit more hustle, and look at how entrepreneurs behave. They're impatient. They're looking for impact today, immediately, and they're very curious. They're always asking themselves, how can we do better? What if we did this? And that's absolutely the mindset that you need to bring to your campaign tests across these channels.
Yeah, this is the Matt Siddons I know.
Yeah, look, I'm a bit of a taskmaster, Kevin, and I don't apologise for that.
Yeah, good on you. Hey, Matt, just before we go, you've spoken a fair bit here about the science of marketing, but what about the art? And what do you mean by the art of marketing?
Yeah, look, I think we've touched on a bit of that, Kevin. I love, I'm super passionate about digital and marketing technology, but I absolutely love brand strategy, working with business owners to really define what your brand stands for. Make sure that comes through in all of the advertising and content that you put into market. Really understand and get under the skin of your customer. Don't make assumptions about how they think or how they perceive you. Really invest in understanding that, and make sure those insights are informing your advertising creative. And then just take great pride in the crafting of great advertising and messages that are fit for purpose, that are right for the particular channel. And then be all over the data in terms of, well, how is it actually performing? Is it doing the job that we want it to do? Can we go back to the board next month and demonstrate ROI, in terms of the marketing investment that they've made?
Fantastic, Matt, as I knew it would be. Matt, thank you very much. We're out of time, unfortunately, but great talking. I want to get you back again because I know there's a huge contribution you can make to this. So thank you for joining us today. I want to mention once again Matt's website, siddonsinside.co, siddonsinside.co. Hey Matt, great talking to you, my friend. Thank you very much. All power to you. See you next time.
Enjoyed that, Kevin. Thank you. All the best.